A year on from a horror car crash which killed their 2 children, a Hamilton couple is pleading with drivers to take extra care to avoid any more lives being lost on our roads this Easter weekend. Mosaferi and his wife Mohy were driving to Wellington on Good Friday when their car was hit by a truck after it failed to stop in a line of traffic on the desert road. Their 4-year-old son, Artin, and his 10-week-old brother, Radin, were in the back seat and both died. Sia and Mohy say their lives have become a living hell since the crash, and they're calling for tougher penalties for reckless drivers to make sure no one else suffers like they have. Our reporter Nita Blake-Person and camera operator Claire Easton-Farrelly went to see them at their Hamilton home, and they told her about the day their lives were ripped apart.
It was a last-minute decision. We had a few friends over the night before, and they mentioned to us that they were going to travel to Wellington the next day. And we just suddenly decided, maybe we should go with them. And we had a few friends in Wellington we wanted to visit. So it was just absolutely a last-minute decision. So we quickly packed up and we're off on the road.
Yeah, we went to, I think Taupo, because we both, we were in 2 cars, my friends and us. We both have children in the car, and we stop like every 1 hour to take them to toilet, to buy them some food. Then we went through the desert road, and on the desert road, if you have been, it's kind of very narrow road, and at some stage we kind of stuck between 2 trucks. And the truck behind us was very close to us, and he was tailgating me. And then suddenly I saw the truck in front of the tanker is kind of sliding sideways, and I stopped. Unfortunately, the truck behind us was, I believe he didn't see us at all because he was tailgating and it was very close, and he didn't stop at all, and he hit us with 80 km. And just imagine that big weight with a small weight, what's going to happen. And then when I think I went unconscious, and when I woke up, everywhere was white because of the airbags. And then when I I feel pain on my chest, and my legs kind of stuck, and said, oh shit, we had accident. And I saw Mohy was sitting in the back with seat belt between boys, and I thought, why Mohy is in front? She kind of rolled over in the front, and I look at my back. I couldn't see Radin because Radin was in the capsule.
It was rear face.
In the rear face, but I saw Artin. He was kind of lied on like that. And then I thought, okay, he's not crying, he's sleeping, and Artin, I'm sure he's sleeping as well. And then I saw people around us start coming, and I could see from their face everyone trying to help, and they took us Radin from the car, and then the firefighter and police, they came, and the medical staff, they came, and they kind of cut the car in, they cut the roof, and they take out Mohy from the car, and they take me out from the car, and they put like a towel on top of Artin, which I know something's happened. And I remember I was lying down in ground, and I asked the helicopter pilot, I think he was doctor and pilot, something like that, and I grabbed his hand and asked him, why you are not taking Artin out from the car? And he told me he passed. I lost my 2 boys, and I was wishing on that time, to be honest, I wishing for Mohy. I wish for her to die, because I'm sure it was the best things could happen for her.
And the real pain was the day coming home. I just couldn't believe it. house that was always filled with Ateens, you know, laughter and loudness and just energy and running around. It was just so empty and so quiet. I basically crawled the way to his room, the first room I wanted to be in. I don't know if it was then or it was the nights after that I started to really understand what had happened to us.
Because running alongside your recovery and everything you've been through was the judicial process that came as a result of this crash. What was the process there in terms of the other driver involved and who was at fault and what came next?
So it's a very, very lengthy process of months that I was still, I don't think my brain was functioning, but because Siamak remembered everything
In detail.
And he was like reviewing it in his mind all day, every day. And obviously because he was the driver of our car, he was just so anxious to just know that he wasn't the person at fault. If we could prove that he was tailgating, the charges would have been different. But because the dash cam had stopped just minutes before, we couldn't prove that he was tailgating. So that completely changed the charge.
So what was he charged with?
At the moment, careless driving causing 2 deaths and 2 injuries.
He knew he took 2 lives away from us, and it took 10 months for us to the court to be actually sitting in the trial. So he absolutely had no contact with us, no remorse, not even a card, not even a letter. He pleaded not guilty in several cases to make it such a lengthy process. And just that last minute on the trial date, he did plead guilty.
Have you been given any indications about what that driver may face?
Yeah, just briefly that it could be firstly a fine, then home maybe in the worst case scenario it could be home detention, but most likely just community work and disqualification from driving. I feel that the law is just too soft. The regulations are just too soft. I know people might not like the sound of this, but double demerit points, double the fine for holiday periods where there are so many people on the road and people are in a rush to get to their destinations. It might not sound, you know, something people want to hear, but these rules are really out there to save people.
It's black and white. If you don't do any mistake, you don't get any fine.
And I've seen the effect on how people are just so much more careful with what they do on the road. And it's just stopping people going through what we are. Life has turned into hell. Our happy life has just turned into hell. And there's nothing that can change that. We will never be those people again. We will never, ever, have those smiles that were coming from the heart. We will never have that again. We were a family of 4. A very, very happy family of 4. Everything just seemed so perfect, so good. Basically too good. We found out it was too good to be true.
And you have a beautiful new baby now.
This little boy is our miracle. He happened just to keep us here, keep us living, and give us that little glimmer of hope that maybe life is worth continuing on.
What will your family be doing this Easter?
Home.
No.
We're definitely not leaving home. To be honest, we don't feel safe on the roads. I don't know if I will ever put him in a car and hit the roads again. It's just hell. Life is turned into hell. If you don't want to go through this, just be that little bit more careful on the road. The road rules, although when you are on the safe, you're on the happy place, you think, it's just a few Ks over, won't make that change. But the road rules are out there to save you, to save your family, save your loved ones, to help you get back home in one piece. So just be that little bit more careful.
And that was Mohy Sharifi ending that report from Nita Blake Person and camera operator Claire Easton Farrelly. So far, 118 people have been killed on New Zealand roads this year. Last year, 7 people died during the Easter period, which began at 4 o'clock this afternoon and runs until 6 a.m. on Tuesday.